Welcome to Movies We Love Recapped. Today we will examine a 2014 supernatural thriller entitled The Taking of Deborah Logan. Spoilers ahead. Before we start, hit the like button. It's free and will help me to grow this channel. Here we go. The movie begins in Virginia with medical student Mia Hugh, her producer Gavin, and their cameraman Lewis meeting with Sarah Logan to commence shooting a documentary about Sarah's mother, Deborah Logan, who suffers from Alzheimer's. Though Deborah initially hesitates to participate, Sarah persuades her by pointing out their need for funds to pay their bills. After a week, production commences and the crew gets introduced to Harris Shrettle, Deborah's longtime friend and neighbor. Additionally, they discover that Deborah used to run a switchboard answering service from her home during the early years of her life. Lewis observes Deborah in her garden with a snake, and when her gardening spade goes missing, she attacks Gavin in a bout of dementia. And scratches at her own throat. Consequently, she gets hospitalized, and her neurologist, Dr. Annalisa Nazir, detects that her illness is rapidly progressing. Upon returning home, Lewis notices Deborah speaking to her bedroom mirror. The crew spends some time speaking with Sarah, discovering that Deborah was disappointed when she found out that her daughter is gay. Next we see that Deborah is missing in the middle of the night. As the crew scramble to find her, we see that she has nailed the window shut. Sarah and the crew later find her stabbing the ground in the garden. They bring her back inside and clean her up. Upon reviewing surveillance footage, Gavin sees a perplexing jump that makes it seem as if Deborah briefly levitated. During an interview, Deborah unexpectedly attacks the crew. Although doctors conduct additional tests on Deborah, they are unable to comprehend the oddities in her rapidly progressing disease. Deborah continues to scratch at herself as a scaly infection spreads across her skin. Sarah and Harris must restrain Deborah during one of her fits. Following the discovery of a snake in the house, Gavin places a cross pendant on a windowsill in a superstitious manner. Gavin is startled by Deborah's sudden appearance as the window inexplicably opens by itself. Moreover, he comes across several paintings made by Deborah that depicts a shadowy figure advancing toward the house. One night, everyone gets awoken by the sound of Deborah's old switchboard ringing. They locate Deborah in the attic, seemingly possessed, and using the switchboard. Sarah realizes that her mother is attempting to recollect a particular memory connected to the switchboard. Gavin extracts audio from the switchboard and finds Deborah speaking in French about serpents, blood, and rivers. Harris urges Sarah to send the documentary crew away, but Sarah declines. Sarah and the crew search through the switchboard recordings and discover that the page for account number 337, which Deborah fixated on during her trance, is missing. Lewis uses charcoal to rub the next page and identifies 337 as belonging to Henri Desjardins, a local pediatrician who was a suspect in the murder of 4 girls before disappearing in the 1970s. Sarah presents the crew with a news documentary of Desjardins, which speculates that he committed a supernatural blood ritual that involves sacrificing young girls to attain immortality. The victims were discovered with serpentine carvings on their foreheads and rattlesnake venom in their blood. However, the ritual requires 5 women, and only 4 victims were found, leading authorities to believe that Desjardins disappeared before completing the ritual due to fear of getting caught. Sarah inquires if Deborah remembers Henri Desjardins, to which Deborah responds that Desjardins is dead, before coughing up earthworms. Harris continues acting strangely. Mia theorizes that Harris murdered Desjardins to save the young girls, and Deborah possibly helped cover it up. Harris arrives at the house and shoots up the production van with his gun. Sheriff Linda Tweed arrives and takes Harris away. But in the wake of the ongoing incidents, Gavin decides to leave the project the following morning. Deborah leads a little girl, Cara Minetti, from the pediatrics ward to an abandoned room in the hospital. But staff recovers Cara without a major incident. Sarah asks a priest about exorcising Deborah. Sarah and Mia meet with Dr. Ernst Schiffer, a professor of anthropology who appeared in a Desjardins documentary. Schiffer relays his suspicions that Deborah thinks she has become Desjardins. Harris attempts to smother Deborah but fails. He then confesses to Sarah that she was supposed to be Desjardins' 5th victim before he was buried alive. Sarah searches for Desjardins' body in her mother's garden, but only finds her mother's hand spade. Sarah comes to the realization that Desjardins is possessing Deborah and has likely already exhumed his own body. To confirm her suspicion, Sarah, Mia, and Lewis search the attic and find Desjardins' remains. However, when they attempt to burn the bundle of bones, snakes emerge from the cloth sack, causing a fireball. The trio manages to flee the house, but spots a man in the window as they escape. Later, Sarah brings the remains to the hospital, and Deborah kidnaps Cara again, killing a security guard who tries to stop her. Sarah informs Sheriff Tweed that her mother is taking Cara to complete Desjardins' ritual. Sarah, Mia, and the police locate Deborah and Cara in the forest. Deborah attacks the officers by spitting venom and flees with the little girl. Lewis escorts an injured officer down the mountain, while Mia takes the camera to continue filming. As they pursue Deborah, Sheriff Tweed is killed. Sarah and Mia follow Deborah into a cave, where they find her attempting to consume Cara with an elongated snake-like jaw. Sarah burns Desjardins' remains in front of Deborah, seemingly breaking the possession. Cara is safely returned to the hospital. Deborah is arrested for kidnapping and murder, but is later declared mentally unfit to stand trial. A news report shows that Cara has recovered from her illness and is celebrating her birthday. As the story ends, Cara gives a chilling smile to the camera, suggesting that Desjardins' ritual was completed and his evil spirit has taken over her body. The film ends here. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button to see more recaps just like this. See you next time.